Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome. Hope you are all doing wonderful. Today, let's get a little message for anyone watching. This is just going to be a little advice and maybe a little clarity, and a nice message to help you move forward. So let's see. Welcome in, everyone. Again, I hope you are doing absolutely awesome, and I hope your Libra season has been off to a great start. Let's see, where is that balance, and what do we need to hear for our heart? All right, lovelies. Time to take action. Personal issues, reaching resolution, and take time to breathe out. So that's definitely some good advice all around. Let's see what direction this wants us to take. Where are the actions? And what are those things we need to create? So let's see. I'm sure we all have a lot on our mind that comes up when you see that personal issue reaching resolution. Where do you feel that for yourself? And where does it maybe feel kind of scary or hard? Don't forget to take time to breathe out after you breathe in, so you can let all that doubt out instead of just piling it up inside. All right, my friends. First of all, from the bottom, I've got the Queen of Cups, Six of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and the Prince of Wands. Okay. For those of you wondering, using this Thoth deck, you can think of that Prince as like a knight. Alrighty. On the top, I've got the Tower, Hanged Man, and Two of Swords. So that's pretty strong because each one came out with, I'll walk you through it when we get there. So now I've got the Ace of Swords, Three of Cups, and the Five of Swords. Alrighty, and then I've got the Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I think this is pretty cool. So here under this first row, it's time to take action. We've got the Tower right under that, and then the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Cups. So I'm going to start with this little tidbit, I guess we could say, and talk you through that. So first of all, the time to take action with the Tower. That's we've got a lot of Mars energy. So like right now we've got the Mars in Aries retrograde going on. Kind of cool because this is an Aries card. And then we've got a Mars card right under it. Don't be afraid of where you need to move forward. Don't be afraid of those actions that you've been holding off on taking. And don't be afraid of these decisions that you've decided it's time to start making. Ace of Swords. Really finding that balance. Sun in Libra, right? Where are you on the scales? Or are you in the middle? Well, it's time to take a side. Seven of Cups, that's Venus, Scorpio energy. So really you can think about, you know, the Mars retrograde, that it's like the divine feminine stepping into a position of being able to take power, instead of having the divine masculine so much as, you know, directing and controlling. There's a lot of letting go right now that needs to be done. And that is an action, really, when you think about it. When you let something go, that's deciding to move in that direction. Here under the hanged, here with the Hanged Man, under a personal issue reaching resolution, we've got lots of Cancer energy, and this is a Cancer message. But there's also Saturn and Taurus here in the bottom, and then that Hanged Man card right on top. That's, you know, a lot more internal, which you can say that's kind of Cancer retrograde, if that makes any sense. For my astrologers out there, what I mean by saying that is internalizing that desire for caring, you know, and self-care is very important. I will always, always, always suggest doing that, using that as a path to move forward, finding your abundance. We've got Mercury Cancer energy here, so structure, but also how you take care of things, how you progress, how you move forward, and how you communicate. Seven of Pentacles. Here in the Thoth deck, this card has the word failure underneath it. This is really kind of not telling you, oh, you're going to fail if you don't work on this, or you've got a failure coming and you've just got to accept it. It's really trying to express the fact of what has been fighting against you, what's been trying to stop you, what's trying to keep you from moving forward. That's where we've got the failure energy, I really feel like here. Not yourself. It's those things that are trying to interfere, that are trying to stop you from making things clear. So now here under the last message, take time to breathe out. The first card we got is Libra energy. It's Two of Swords. And then we've got Aquarius right under that, Five of Swords. And then we've got Aries and Venus right under that, Four of Wands. So how do you move on? How do you, you take in all this stuff throughout the day, and it affects you, and it, makes you want to act a certain way. It makes you want to fight against or go with the flow. How do you let it all out? How do you breathe out? How do you stop harboring those ill wills, those negative intents, those negative desires, and let it go peacefully, in harmony with yourself, peace? How do you find your solace out of that insanity all day, every day? What's clouding your mind? Where do you not allow that to defeat you, but really you defeat its negative intention by not letting it create that, friction that it wants to? And how do you bring in that love, that new start, that new passion in your heart that's always there? So over here from the bottom, we got the Queen of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Prince of Wands. I'm having a feeling a little more wants to come out, so I'm going to take one more card from our lovely Moonology Oracle deck. I absolutely love this. And that's going to help us see the direction which this is kind of hinting at as a bigger picture for all of this. Expect powerful change. That's pretty strong, I would say, especially considering that in the middle we've got a personal issue reaches resolution. Isn't that a very powerful change? So the way that we can affect this change inside of ourselves, Queen of Cups and Six of Pentacles, is really standing in your virtue, standing true to your integrity, standing with your heart, and, holding those things together, where it doesn't tear you apart. Don't fight against, don't be trying to, be that dam in the river that blocks everything and only lets through, a little trickle. While yes, there's a greater purpose in mind, it's channeling that energy to create a new flow along with what trickles out below. That's really stifling the greater flow of everything as it goes down, right? So we've got Gemini over here too. Gemini, Jupiter energy and the Eight of Swords. So that's really two sides here. Are you interfering with yourself? And where are you allowing that to be clouded by what you believe is only interference from something else? And fighting against what you know is trying to get out so hard. So we've got right here, look at the bigger picture. When you've got two sides of a story and you're only stuck looking at one, you aren't seeing that bigger picture and, everything else as it's wanting to express, as it's wanting to move forward and where it's moving forward. So let's see a little more how the Prince of Wands wants us to use our passion right now. Not getting stuck in letting that anger come out. That's, really this Mars retrograde, that sticky energy that's just old and not useful anymore. Let's see. So I've got the Princess of Cups. You can think Page of Cups, the Aeon, and the Three of Swords. So there's more Libra energy here. I want to show you guys. This is what the Three of Swords here in this deck looks like. We have the word sorrow with it. That is very apt for the typical description that you have in a Rider-Waite deck, where it's the heart with three swords going through it. But here we have three coming to a point together. And you've got two kind of bending, to this point that they're making. And then that one going straight up in. Where are you bending around things to just keep fighting with it, to keep, bringing in this pressure? And where are you letting that go that maybe you shouldn't? And that's what you need to use to help yourself take that breath out, that you can channel that, doubt into passion. Really, is there many areas where you can move forward, where you can take these steps? Or are those really the things that you need to just flow? How they work with, and how you work with them. Three of Pentacles. And then we've got the Nine of Swords as well. In this deck, this card, it's pretty interesting depiction. We've got all these swords here with, it looks like drops of blood coming down off them, and the word cruelty. Typically, you're going to see that person who's like laid up at night. It looks like, they're in their bed. They've got their hands in their face and like they just look very restless and not able to understand, a very cruel energy. But is that kind of a warning in yourself of where you aren't paying attention to what you need to take care of, what you have been holding on to needlessly, and you need to let go so it can heal? Where are the areas that you can really move forward into your power and be that helping, guiding hand? What is this thing that you've been holding on to. Let's see with the Hanged Man. What are we, keeping in ourselves that's clouding us up? So I've got the Five of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, and the Princess of Wands. Worry and doubt in yourself, not believing that you have the ability, not seeing where you have that strength or the passion, not thinking you're good enough. I really see this as a big part of what it might be saying is realizing where you are good enough, where you are enough, where you do enough. Just because somebody else is telling you that this effort that you've put in is not helpful or it's meaningless or it's not what was wanted, that does not mean that you did not have good intentions. And it also does not mean that it wasn't a valid direction for you to move forward. It just means that, maybe that help that you're trying so hard to give somebody else, that's that help you need to give yourself. Two of Pentacles, Five of Wands, Six of Wands. Yes, really, that's what I see here. So we've got Capricorn, Jupiter, Leo, Saturn, and Leo, Jupiter. Think about what's going to be happening this year on the winter solstice. It's pretty cool, I think. The Great Conjunction, where we're having Saturn and Jupiter come into a conjunction. And it's going to be the closest that it's really been since, centuries. Yes, they have a conjunction every 20 years. And it's really about moving forward. They're switching places. So Saturn and Jupiter are very similar, but they're kind of, two halves to this whole. Let's think Jupiter, luck, abundance, having a good time, that Friday night fun. But then Saturn is this, more rigorous structure, discipline side. How do you let those two flow and intermingle together? And especially we have it happening on a solstice. Solstices are really about new beginnings, and this is happening within the sign of Aquarius. So this is really talking about humanitarian efforts, human rights, moving forward as a society. So all of these things that you have to offer that you feel like, okay, yeah, Emperor and Nine of Wands, that you feel like that you aren't having the effect that you want to, that you think that it's not being meaningful and not helping anything. That's where your strength lies. That's where you have, something bigger to offer that's more than just there for one little reason, that's, trying to nudge something bigger than one step forward. It's trying to help direct a greater path forward. So really taking the time to see that, that love that you have to give, this passion that you have, the clarity and this vision moving forward that you have, does not mean that it's worth nothing. But, instead of just suggesting or trying to, nudge, why not do? Take that action inside for you, in yourself, so that you can see that magnify as it affects everything else. And keep moving forward with that direction. Knight of Swords. Choosing to be that upper hand instead of deciding whether or not you have the upper hand. Like, who needs the upper hand anyways? Why do you need the upper hand? You've got two. One is above and one is below, right? As above, so below. So why not move in flow with that? Let's see a little bit more what this Two of Swords wants us to know and the peace it wants us to move towards. They just jumped right out. So I've got 7 of Swords, 5 of Cups, and there's 2 more. I've got the Queen of Wands and the 8 of Cups. So I'm going to tell you the words with each one of these. 7 of Swords is Aquarius. It says futility. The 5 of Cups, that's Scorpio. It says disappointment. Queen of Wands, fire energy, period. Aries, Leo, Sag. Really, there's a lot of Leo there, though. And then 8 of Cups, we've got Pisces. Pisces and Saturn. So, where are you fighting against? What is just fighting against yourself? Kind of, you know, why? It's like a paradox. It's counterintuitive. It's counterproductive, really. Because all that's doing is creating a greater sense of disappointment around what you're creating for yourself. And instead, why not walk away from that decision of just keeping on bringing in what's not helping you bring things forward, and walk away from that and move forward to what you know you can bring in. But don't focus on it, because, you know, everything happens in its own way. So release it. Release what you don't want to stay. Don't fight against that, because when you're resisting it, that's when you're saying that it has some sort of power over you, really. Because why would you need to resist it if it did not have any power at all over you? If it was having no effect. Let's look a little more at the 5 of Swords. This card that says defeat, I think it wants to speak a little more as well about breathing out and taking that time. So we've got the 4 of Pentacles, death, and the 6 of Swords. Power, death, and science is the words under each one of these cards. So we've got Capricorn, Scorpio, and Aquarius. I think that's pretty strong and that's pretty cool. Move forward and move on. Don't let, you know, baser things hold you down. Don't identify with those. Don't, you know, assume that you are all of these pieces that make up the greater picture. Look at that bigger picture and see where are the ways that all those things come together, and what they equate to is the bigger picture that is you. Where do you identify with that? How do you express in between, you know, within, without? We've got Mercury energy here. Where do you use that to, you know, clean up the bigger picture, get rid of that muck, and sweep away what no longer needs to stay, to make room for those new things that are trying to come in, that's going to help usher you forward? You know, how can you create that structure inside of your life with these things that need to just flow? Because as much as there's those things that you want to let them go, that you need to let them take their direction, you have to have structure in how you allow that to happen, where you know, open up those spaces. All right, my lovely friends, thank you all for joining us once again. I hope you are all doing wonderful. Please hit that like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Also, press the subscribe button so you always get updates when I post new content. Links are below if you want to be closer to the action. Join us on Facebook. There's always lots of cool stuff going on over there, along with bonus content if you jump on over to Patreon. All right, you guys, have a lovely day.